Here's what my old paintings used to look like. And here's what my new paintings look like now. What changed, you might be asking? Well, let me show you. Do you have paint sets like this? It has all these different colors, 48 different colors. And you paid about 50 bucks for it to get all those colors. And you're painting this bright, beautiful green in your tree. All the different colors that they've given you in this set just isn't doing the trick. Or maybe you have something like this, your 36 oil paints. All these different colors, they're just not working for you. Well, today I want to show you how you don't need to paint kits so that you can learn how to mix the different colors that you want for your paintings. These are the 5 colors you will only ever need so long as you learn color theory. Color theory is what I'm going to show you today. So we got titanium white, French ultramarine blue, permanent alizarin crimson, lemon yellow, and burnt umber. Now these 3 are what I like to use as my primary colors. And I'll show you how to mix all of them to get any sort of color that you want. And then this one is really great for making blacks, and this one lightens your colors. All right, so to start off, let's mix these different colors together, and I'll show you different color combinations you can get with blue, yellow, and red. Now you probably already know how to mix like yellow and blue equals green. And so to start off, I want to show you how by mixing a color wheel you can understand how the primary colors work and how you can really mix any color that you want. So to start off, I'm going to show you how you can, starting with red and go all the way around the color wheel. So I think the first thing that's pretty easy to do is just grab some of the red paint, make a little dot right here, showing us what the red looks like. Yellow plus red equals orange, and blue plus red equals purple. You probably know the secondaries. But I want to show you how by learning color theory, you can mix really any sort of color you want. After you've put down your red, I'm gonna wash my brush real quick. Now you can mix red and yellow together to make orange, because that is our next color. It's gonna be on the color wheel. So for a general rule of thumb, you're gonna want more yellow than red because red is such a strong color. And of course I grabbed too much red. So just take out a little bit and add more. And this is more or less like not like a 1-to-1 ratio, but just kind of like a really intense orange, like this color here. Like if you thought of like what is the most true orange color, that's probably it. So we'll take the orange and we'll make another dot on our color wheel. So a little ways making space so we can add red to make red orange here. Go kind of down and make another dot there. And then rinse your brush. And then let's mix up. So take about half of this and put it there. Leave the other half. So red orange, you're just gonna add more red to this mixture right here. And now you have red orange. So take this and make another dot here, making red orange. Rinse my brush again. And then now we can add yellow to this mixture, we'll have yellow orange. And take some of this and then put it right about here. Then from there, just take straight up yellow, put right there, and then just kind of keep going around. So at this point, you might be wondering, well, why is a color wheel so important for color theory? Well, when you buy different paint brands, you know, you're gonna want to get used to the colors, and so making color wheels is a great way to get used to the feel of the colors and how they work. Another reason is that you can understand, like when I mix blue and yellow together, it's gonna make green, but what kind of green is it gonna mix, right? Is it gonna mix, you know, this dark green, or is it gonna be a lighter green? And so when you learn how to, you know, make the different secondary and tertiary colors from these primary colors, then you really understand more or less just the basics of color theory. And so that's why it's a fun little exercise to get you learning color theory. So now that we got green, we're gonna go directly across from red and put a dot right there, because red and green are complementary colors, and complementary colors sit exactly opposite from one another on the color wheel. So now, just kind of keep going along, add more yellow to the mix. See what that looks like. Now we can put this in between yellow and green. And then take this, add more blue to the mix. And take blue, green, put right back here. And then take blue and put it across from orange. And keep going along to make purple, which is red and blue. And once you learn color theory, you can really make any color that you want just from the primary colors and a little bit of white and maybe a little bit of brown. And it'll really help with your paintings to make beautiful, beautiful colors. So now I got my purple. I can put it right across from yellow, because purple is yellow's complement. And then start mixing. At this point, you probably know the drill. More red to this mixture. And more blue to this mixture. So let's see. Put blue violet right there. And then red violet right here. And then we have our finished color wheel. So now that you know how to mix the different colors that sit on the color wheel, I want to show you how just by using the primaries and white, you can mix this beautiful green grass color in my photo that I have over here. So the first thing to do when mixing any sort of color is finding the relative color. Now the relative color is, you look at the color and you go, what color is this? Is it green? Is it blue? Is it orange? So forth, like just identifying the color. So in this case, the grass is green, obviously. And so we don't just want any old green. You can see here, like this green that I have, it's not gonna do the trick because it's too dark. So the first thing when it's too dark is, you wanna add maybe a little bit of yellow to brighten it up, or white or something, lighter color. And you can really go in two ways when mixing colors. You can either try to make it lighter and match the value of the color, which is how dark or light the color is, or you can start by matching the hue, which is the shade of the actual color. And so, maybe I look at this and I go, well, it's still kind of too dark, so I'm gonna add some white to it just to lighten it up, right? And now I notice it's too light, so I can darken it up by adding red. And you really want to avoid using the color black when darkening up colors, because black absorbs light, it absorbs everything. It just takes up all that beautiful color that you want. And so if you kind of avoid using black and learn how to mix different blacks, which I'll show you here in a second, then you're optimizing your colors, and when they go onto your canvas, they don't just make grays or dark neutrals. And I'll show you why in a second, but let's first mix this green. So let's see, it's still kind of too light, but I'm going to add a little bit more yellow and blue because it needs to be a little bit more green still. The other thing is red is green's complement, and complementary colors, I like to think of it as they cancel each other out. And it's not so much of like, oh, it's no longer green or it's no longer red, but they just kind of like meet in the middle and become this neutral color, which is just kind of like, it's not very saturated. They desaturate each other. And so that's why they darken each other a bit. So it's still kind of an opaque green color over here. So I'll add some more blue. That's making it look better. Then a little bit more red. And lots more blue. You can see it kind of just looks like, this very neutral color. That's because I added a lot of red to it. And it, it's kind of like a neutral bluish green color. And so now to lighten this up, I'm not going to add white just quite yet. I want to add more yellow to the mix. And I'm just going to, because I don't have a lot of yellow left, I'm going to take a little bit off. There. More here. And now it's just very yellowy. So I'm going to add some more blue to the mix. Bring it back to green. Sometimes it's just playing around, and it takes a while sometimes. from here, we got pretty much about, you know, the hue we're looking for, but it needs to be lighter. It's too dark. So that's where I'm going to start by adding white. Now white's also a very strong color, so just a little bit goes a long way. Getting closer, a little bit more yellow. A little bit more white. And you know what? We're just about to the right color. I don't know if you can see that very well, but now we're just about where that green is. So that's how you can really mix any color. And if you just remember, you know, that's where your color wheel is going to come in helpful, is if you remember the complementary colors and how they help each other, and that, you know, don't forget about white to brighten it, but don't use a lot. And if you understand how to get, you know, the relative color from the primaries, then, you know, just practice and keep mixing colors and learning all that stuff and you'll get it. Now I want to show you how you can mix your own black colors. Now black is just pretty much a dark color, and I don't know if you can see, but in my Mount Rainier painting, I have kind of like this darker rocky colors, both in the foreground and on the mountain itself. And how I got to those colors was I just kind of mixed different variations of purples or just really dark neutral colors, and by adding one's complementary colors. And it really is quite helpful because for example, when I put down kind of that darker purpley black color on the mountain and then I had the white behind it, then it made it lighter, but it didn't make it into a gray color because there wasn't really any grays on the mountain. It was blues and whites and this dark black looking color. And so it really helped me just kind of avoid the grays, I guess is the word. And it really makes it look like a better painting because of it. And same within the foreground, you know, there's a little bit of grays and stuff, but I used a lot more burnt umber and blues, and that's how I got the different cooler black colors in there. And so if you know, like warmer blacks versus cooler blacks, and really it just is like, you know, blues, they're a cooler color, so you're gonna get a cooler black when you mix blue and burnt umber together because it has cooler colors in it, versus when you mix up like this dark purpley color with a little bit of red in it. Red is a warm color, so you're gonna get a warmer black. And so just understanding those will help in your paintings to not just add black in it and make weird things when it mixes on the canvas. It's actually going to create colors that is just going to vibe well with your painting. So I want to start by showing you how to make what I call the cool, you know, the cool black color. So that's just gonna put blue and brown together, and it's really just that easy. Now we've got this black color, and I want to prove how this is probably the most true black you can get just by mixing any two colors. And I'll prove that because when you take a little bit of this dark color and you add a little bit of white to it, now you've got gray. And so even then, you know, that's probably your truest black. And so you don't even have to buy like black paint if you just buy those two colors, because you're going to use burnt umber in, you know, your trees, in any sort of landscape painting, because it's just a neutral color. And so if you want to make, you know, the black even cooler, you just add more blue to the mix and it becomes a cooler black. So that's how I got those kind of cooler grayish blue rocks in the foreground of my Mount Rainier painting. Now if you want, I need more blue on here first, but if you want more of like a warmer black color, what you do is you start off by mixing purple. And so, you know, we've got kind of this purple already right here. So I'm going to use that. And then you add just a tiny little bit of burnt umber into the mix. Mix it all nice and well. And you've kind of got this warmer, not this warmer, this cooler, no, yeah, sorry, warmer black color when you add more red to the mix. Sorry, it was cooler. I'm adding more red so it becomes warmer. See how that's just a really nice dark color. Now, it is technically purple. So when you mix it with white, it's going to show up as a lighter purple color. But if you put it on pretty thickly, it's going to look like black on your paintings. And so then if you're mixing colors next to it and it blends, you don't have to worry about it changing the shade of your color, because it's going to, I mean, it is going to a little bit, but it's not going to be like true black straight from the paint tube, where the green versus the dark rock that you painted in, it's not going to make the green grass, the bright green grass, like 10 times darker. It might a little bit, but not a lot. And when it mixes on there, it's not going to look so muddy. So that's just kind of the basics of color theory, and it will really improve your paintings once you get it down. And it really just takes practice and patience and perseverance and just mixing all sorts of colors together. But in the end, what color theory really boils down to is it's not so much of just certain rules. It's just understanding how different colors react to each other and how you can get different colors from really any color.